Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and just a few days ago I broke down a video of how to run a corner streak combo and how effective it is in Madden. For this Madden defensive tips video breakdown, I want to show you how to counter the corner streak combo by using the exact same plays that I did in the previous video breakdown. The only difference is I'm going to make one coach adjustment that will counter the corner route that's ran by the two slot receivers. Before I actually show you how to counter the corner streak combo, let's take a look at the two plays that I used in the video breakdown. On the defensive side of things, the name of the play that I used just happens to be this one. You'll find it out at 𝗠𝗱𝗡. It's called Cover 4 Palms. And then on the offensive side of things, the play that I used was what I felt is probably one of the best plays when it comes to running the corner streak combo. Happens to be called gun tight bench. Now I just want to do a real quick review as far as with this particular play and why it's so effective with this route combination. Again, it's going to be the corner streak combination. So the play, as I've already mentioned, is called gun tight bench. We're using the Bills playbook if you're following along here. And in the video breakdown, I talked about hot routing these two receivers on streaks and then motioning this guy out to the outside, which is the receiver as you look at it going to the outside. And I also mentioned when I used the play here, the Cover 4 Palms play, I didn't make any coaching adjustments, and it ended up being a pretty didn't do a very good well defending at this particular play. So let's go ahead and run it without doing anything as far as this route combo, and you can see clearly that receiver gets wide open. So what I'm going to do now is I want to go back in here and I want to show you some coaching adjustments and basically some adjustments you can make, pre-adjustments on the defensive side of things that's going to go ahead and take away this route combination that I just showed. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. The one coaching adjustment that we need to make to try to take away the corner streak combination is this one right here as you go into it. And I think a lot of us probably already set this, and that's to match. So go into your zone coverage and go ahead and set this to match. Now I'm going to tell you this. For right now, do not change the zone drops to curl flats. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. I know some guys might want to drop them back 25, 30 yards thinking that this is going to take that away, but you're going to see that it doesn't, and I'll talk about that later in the video breakdown. For now, let's just go away with the zone coverage match, and I'll show you how this works. Now that we got match coverage turned on, I want to go ahead and run the play, and I want to show you what will happen with this as far as how this is going to take away the slot receiver that's running this corner route. Now I want to stress it's going to take away that route, and it also will take away this route, which is a corner route that's ran by this receiver, even when we motion this guy out to the outside. When we go into instant replay and we take a look at a deeper look at the X and O's of the play, you're going to see something else that's going to basically, we just went ahead and plugged up one hole, then we opened up another one, and I'll show you how to counter that as well, how to take that away. But for now, let's run the play. Let's go into the film room, or at least go into the instant replay and take a look at it. And then we'll do some more adjustments to take this even further away as far as this play. So let's go ahead and run it. And as you watch this, you're going to see that receiver is covered, really can't get it. As a matter of fact, the corner there jumps to route and not open. Let's go into the X's and O's of the play now and take a look at it. And then hopefully when I ran this play, you guys were watching and taking your eye off the ball and watching something else that was going on, because there was another receiver that was wide open. So let's go ahead and again, let's go into instant replay. Now we can really break down the X and O's of the play here and kind of really show you how this works and why it's effective as far as taking away the corner route. So as I've already talked about, this receiver right here is running the corner route. So he's going to go up the field here and he's going to break towards the corner. As we did in the previous, without making the coach adjustments as far as match, he got wide open. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this in instant replay and go kind of slow it down here once we get it up in this area here. It's right there. You can see clearly as you look at this, when your opponent or whoever might be controlling this quarterback, when he makes this throw deep down the field, he looks kind of open, but watch as these two defenders jump on that route. Now that's going to be the corner there, and that's going to be the safety. So watch as they jump on this, which is all great. This is great. We take that away. This is exactly what we wanted. The problem is, if we rewind it again, I want you guys to focus in on the the outside receiver running the streak route. As you watch this, if your opponent is smart and he knows he sees this and he's seen this type of coverage before with this match turned on, then as I continue to run this, I notice you guys are seeing this right now, but this receiver running that streak, the one we hot routed, would actually be open. Matter of fact, let's go back at this and take a look at this and run it the exact same thing I just did. So we'll go ahead and hot route these two outside receivers, motion this receiver in motion to the right. And I want you guys to pay attention to this receiver right here, because he's going to be the receiver that's going to be wide open this time. Even though we took away the corner route, we basically just plugged up one hole, but left this guy wide open. And as we go back in the instant replay, which we're going to, and look at the X and O's of the play, you're really going to see that. This time, let's go ahead and concentrate on this receiver right here. Now, this is the one that we hot routed on the streak. We already know that we took away the corner route, but as I pointed out, we opened up another can of worms, and now we got this guy we got to deal with. So let's go ahead and look at this real quick, and I'll show you how to deal with them after we go through this real quick. So as you look at it, you can clearly see at this point that this receiver breaking towards the corner, which is the receiver that we're trying to take away, at least with the corner route, won't be open, because those two defenders, as we go ahead and zoom in on this, they go over there, as I showed before, they go over and cover him. These two receivers are now covering, or those two defenders right there are now covering that receiver. The problem is this defender right here, this is a defensive back. What I would like to see him do is follow this guy and actually go in and cover this receiver running the streak route. Instead, for some reason, he looks towards the quarterback and decides to come up, and I have no idea why. He stops. Even if you were to turn on the curl flats and drop him back 30 yards, it wouldn't matter. He's still going to go ahead and do exactly the same thing. And honestly, you wouldn't even have the coverage on the corner route. We'll talk about that later, as I said in the video breakdown. So what happens is, as we zoom back in, this receiver running the streak clearly gets wide open, because we've got this corner over here covering this guy, which is fine. We want that. And his outside, well, that corner, but the safety's covering this receiver. And then we also got this guy being covered by the outside, which is all fine on the right-hand side. Everything looks good. Plus, this guy's being covered as well, the running back coming out of the backfield. But for some dumb reason, this guy right here, who has nobody in this area here, decides to come up here or stop and look to cover here when he should continue on to cover that guy. So I'm not sure why that's like that. Maybe that's in the coverage rules. I don't know, but that's kind of confounds me to why they do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back here in the video breakdown. I'm going to show you how to take that away as well. So let's go back into it and get right back onto the actual live action here, and I'll show you how we can counter that. Now I want to show you how to go ahead and counter the corner streak combination. And we've already turned on match coverage, right? We've already done that. But we still have an issue with the receiver running the streak route. So we can do this to counter that. So you got to find a defender that you want to put in man coverage on the streak route. In this case, with this particular formation, this particular defense, the one that I recommend is this guy right here, which is going to be this linebacker who's supposed to be rushing the quarterback. Now, the downside when I do this, obviously, he's not going to rush the quarterback, and now we only have a 3-man pass rush. So keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and put him in man coverage on this outside receiver who's going to be running the streak. So let's go ahead and put him on the streak route here as you look at it. He's now on the streak route. So is the outside receiver on there on the right. We'll put him back in motion. So at this point, I'm just going to switch off to him and take control of another defender. But at this point, normally I might control the linebacker, but here I'm just going to do this as far as controlling that defensive tackle there. At any rate, what I want to do is I'm going to run this play, and I want you guys to watch what happens with this. I guarantee it, that defender is going to take him and take that away. And what's going to happen here also is you're going to notice as we go through this, you're going to see some differences between these two and the way they covered in the previous when I didn't have the man coverage on as far as with that defender. Instead, you remember we just had match coverage where they both went over and tried to take away the corner route, which they did. Problem is they left the streak route open. Let's go ahead and run this, and you'll see what I mean. Because like I said, it's going to change things up drastically as far as the way the coverages are concerned. I am going to go ahead and try to throw to the outside receiver or inside receiver, run the streak. But as you can see right there, as I go back in here into the X and O's of the play, you're going to find that either one of those receivers were open. All right, one more time, we're going to go back in instant replay. We're going to take a look at this, and I'm going to show you that those two receivers are both now defended as far as when running this particular defense, this dime 2-3-6 cover 4 palms. Now, I will say this, there are some other defenses we can do, and I'll do another video breakdown on actual defense. We won't have to make all these adjustments, but I wanted to do it with this one because this is the one that I showed in the previous video breakdown that I did. But at any rate, those are the 2 receivers that we talked about all the way through this breakdown as far as being open. So this guy's running that streak, got this one running a corner route, and on the other side, those other 2 receivers are being covered anyway, so I'm not really going to break them down because you don't have to do anything on that side. It's mainly on the left-hand side because remember, the ball is lined up here on this left hash mark, which is to the near side, is why we're having to deal with this. So that's the one thing else you got to be paying attention to. Guys, I know there's a lot of pieces to this, but that's what Madden's about. It's like a chess game. You got to keep countering until you get your opponent in checkmate. And hopefully you can get a turnover with what I'm showing here. But at any rate, let's go ahead and run this. And the other thing I want you guys to watch are these 2 defenders here, because again, as I pointed out earlier, things are going to change up as far as the way they cover that corner out. So as we go through here and go back into the play here and run an instant replay, let's zoom in at this very moment here. Okay, actually, let me rewind because something else I wanted to show here as I was doing this. First off, let's watch this guy. I also want to talk about him. Remember, this is the one we put in man coverage. Watch what he does in his initial step right there. See how he takes and jams that receiver right there. That's the one running the corner route. He jams him. So that's going to slow him down anyways, which is nice. That gives you kind of an extra benefit. And then he runs over there and tries to defend that streak route. Now, as I go ahead and zoom in on this, that would be an issue. But here's the cool thing about that. Because we went ahead and put him in man coverage, this defender right here, the one that's supposed to be playing that quarter zone, that quarter in this area here, he's supposed to be playing that quarter 1-4 right in here. Well, he actually does. And that makes a difference. And plus, this guy here is trailing. He's still trailing that guy. He's trailing that streak route. So that's fine. We got basically double bracket coverage as you really think about it. And the other thing is, I'm going to go ahead and change it up here and get right up on here and show this to you rather than zooming in. I'm going to do it this way. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And you can see right there, that receiver right here running that corner route is now covered by the cornerback. So that's good. We got that out of the way. And then over here, the receiver running the streak route is covered by that safety. Remember, we talked about just a second ago about him covering that deep quarter right there, the 1/4 area and that area there. So he's going to take that away. And you got this other defender, as I pointed out earlier, the one in man coverage. He's still not exactly in the best spot, but at least he's trailing him. Then you got this numbnut right here, this guy right here. And I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's doing something, but he really should be going back here to take that way, or at least go over here. Remember, there's nobody underneath for him to go cover, but for some reason, he doesn't want to do that. But as you look at this, as we look at that guy's taken away. Let's go ahead and zoom back in over on this side, and that receiver's taken away. So there's nowhere to throw the ball at as you look at that. Let's go back over this direction here as we do this, and you can clearly see that that's been broken up. So that's really the idea of this. So with this video breakdown, I'm really just wanting to show you guys how to counter this particular play or combination, this corner streak combination. I didn't really get much of a chance to really show it to you guys in the previous video breakdown. Hadn't really planned on it, but it's certainly something you guys can take a look at if you want to from the when you're running this particular defense as far as covering the corner streak combination. But there's going to have to be a lot of adjustments. Now, as I've already pointed out earlier in the video, there is another defense that you can run from the 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗋𝗋. It actually does a better job at defending this, and we'll talk about that in another video breakdown. It's a zone defense, but it actually does a little bit better job, in my opinion, taking this away. So we'll do that on another day, but because this video is getting really long, and I know sometimes I get real winded. Anyway, guys, I hope this one helps you out as far as defending the corner streak.